California Black Chamber of Commerce Foundation, in partnership with the California Black Health Network, presents the African American Leadership Weekend and Wellness Day Conference, revitalizing the urban agenda.
Social services with transportation, education resources, etc. I'm talking about the process of deciding who gets what, when, where, and how. So when we talk about redistricting, once you count all these people, every 10 years, then you have to decide, how, now that we've counted all these people, how do we get them all into equal districts? Equal so that everybody is represented. Now, first of all, I've already told you, and this group I'm sure is conscious, and I'm just telling you, keep being on the edge, keep paying attention. Because first of all, when they count, you want to make sure your people are counted. Then the second piece is trying to group all these people into equal districts. It's called redistricting. At the state level and the local level, that's what redistricting is. It's simply, after the census has been counted, for every jurisdiction, the Assembly, the Senate, Congress, City Council, County Board of Supervisors, water districts, each one of those entities have to have an equal number of persons. Each one of those representatives have to have an equal number of persons. So you've counted all the people, and now you're drawing the lines. At the local level, that's called redistricting. At the state and local level, that's called redistricting. At the federal level, it's called reapportionment. So it's still the process of deciding who gets what, when, where, and how. At the federal level, they call it reapportionment because at the federal level, there are 435 congressional representatives. That doesn't change. It stays the same no matter how many people there are, no matter how many people move into the country. There's always going to be 435 congressional representatives, and there's always going to be 2 senators for every one of those districts. That's in the Constitution. So what does that mean? If the population changes, if people move from California to Texas, and you're talking about equal representation, well, if people move from California to Texas, then how do you distribute that 435 representatives? Well, you have to take some from California, one of those seats or 2 from California, and you have to give it to the state that has the increase. So they reapportion it. Well, that means something too. When they reapportion it, that means when the federal government starts to calculate the distribution of resources, whether it's health, education, transportation, et cetera, they're going to base that on number of people. And that's going and that decision is going to be driven by the people who are elected. So that 435 people will make that decision. If all of your people are counted, you'll get an equal number of representatives that will go to Congress to fight for you. If all of your people are not counted, then some other state will get your share. And then the resources will be distributed. So reapportionment at the federal level means congressional distribution, people standing in the halls of Congress speaking on your behalf. Redistricting at the local level means taking all of these various entities, municipal entities like the Senate, the Assembly, Congress, Board of Equalization, city councils, et cetera, and drawing the lines and making them equal. So that's redistricting. Now, is that all? It can get more complicated. And if you guys want me to make it more complicated, I will. So I'm just saying, I'm trying to break it down to the fundamentals of it. And then there's some things that have happened over the last several years that make it more complicated. We had, there was the view in California. The view in California is that the parties, the political parties, have had too much influence in deciding who gets to participate. Now, I'm going to kind of move to some variations on this, but keep in mind, I have told you what redistricting is, and don't let anybody convince you anything different.